Welcome to A Healthier, Happier You, the people working to make it happen. I'm Evan J. Cholfin from Luxhammer, where we help the brands that help you live healthier. Today, I'm joined by Marc Kravets, CEO of Lancer Skincare, a premium skincare brand developed by renowned Beverly Hills dermatologist, Dr. Harold Lancer. For 3 decades, Lancer has been creating innovative skincare solutions loved by customers around the world. Marc, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, what drew you to join Lancer Skincare and what excites you most about leading the company?
I've been involved in clinically focused skincare brands, both on the uh, cosmetic, OTC, and drug side over the last 25 years. Previously, I was the GM at Proactive. Prior to that, I was EVP at Urad, where I handled all their direct-to-consumer and e-commerce sales, as well as leaned in and helped on .com for retail and retail support. I was doing some consulting work, had slowed things down a bit, and I got a call from a recruiter that I'd worked with in the past. She said that there was an opportunity at Lancer, a brand that I already knew well from competitive studies, vertical that I really enjoyed. So I saw it as a great opportunity to help a smaller brand grow.
That's great. Could you tell us about the brand's philosophy of from practice to product?
Dr. Lancer is, I believe, the only actual practicing dermatologist with a skincare brand with the kind of distribution that we have. He has developed his products based on what his patients need. And his ultimate goal is to reduce the amount of procedures, to reduce the amount of invasive procedures that patients need in order to stay looking healthy and young. So he's developed products that will surrogate for some of the more invasive procedures and let you do at home what you might have to do in an office.
Where are you focusing most of your energy in the business right now?
We're a fairly small team, so I don't get to have one main focus. We're obviously highly engaged in growing our own e-commerce business. Amazon's growing rapidly, so that's a point of focus. New product development always requires a lot of attention, and then looking for expansion in specialty retail, that's a new focus.
So, who is the Lancer customer and what are they looking for in skincare?
Uh, our customer, she's probably 45 to 55, maybe 45 to 60, affluent, urban, largely focused on anti-aging concerns. Everything from the loss of estrogen leading to a loss of collagen, which affects firmness and crispy appearance in the skin, to normal lines, fine lines and wrinkles, coloration, hyperpigmentation, the sort of basic heavy-hitting anti-aging concerns.
What would you say has made Rodeo Drive such a fitting home for the brand?
The doctor's had his office here for over 20 years, I believe, so it's just our home.
Yeah. What's been your biggest challenge in growing a premium skincare brand this year?
This year, there's a lot of headwinds. The economy, consumer concerns about inflation, consumer concerns about tariffs. That impacts everybody, regardless of their income class. So that's definitely been a headwind. There's also an overabundance of brands competing for the same share. Fortunately, we've been around long enough to hold our own, but it's always challenging when there's literally hundreds of new brands trying to enter the market in a year.
And what aspects of the business are you most focused on improving?
We've just transitioned our tech stack to Shopify Plus, so relaunching and optimizing the website, conversion rate optimization, as well as creative testing. That's a big focus for us. We've also revamped our CRM so that we have new email flows, new content. That's a big point of focus. And then trying to expand that into more efficient use of digital advertising like Meta or TikTok or Pinterest. That's probably another thing that we're focused on from a direct-to-consumer perspective.
How are you navigating changes in luxury retail and e-commerce?
That's a pretty big question. The old saying that you have to be where the consumer is in order to make the sale, that's more true today than it has been in the past. Sounds like a cliche now, but it's still an important point of focus. You can see inside your customer journey how many different touch points it takes to get them to convert. Is it 5 or 6 or 7 touch points for a new customer? Is it two or three to get an unengaged customer back. That's a big piece of what we look at in order to address the sort of changing market.
What makes it challenging to stand out in today's crowded skincare market?
We look to leverage our clinical history and is what we have as our advantage being with the performance of our products. How can we lean into the performance of our products as a way to convince new customers or existing customers to come back and purchase? We we rely heavily on the formulations that Doctor creates that have a efficacy that I haven't seen in any other skincare brand.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What are your key priorities for Lancer Skincare in 2025?
To continue to grow Amazon, to continue to expand our e-commerce site, and then to look for expansion in specialty retail.
Which product categories present the biggest opportunities?
We're looking to expand on our anti-aging and hyperpigmentation products in both moisturizers and treatments. We're also looking at some interesting new products that will leverage exosome technology. That'll be a big point of focus for us, especially when we're looking at hyperpigmentation. And then looking at new delivery methods that allow us to stand out from the competitors.
That's great. And when do you hope to launch those?
We launched our first product of the year just recently. It was a product our gravity defying eye cream, which is an add-on to the gravity defying moisturizer we launched last year. Our gravity defying moisturizer was our best launch in many years. I've only been here 2, but I've told quite a few before that. So that became a bestseller for us quickly, and now we're expanding on that. We're also looking at some additional expansion on that line in the hyperpigmentation space, but we're considering a few different products for the launches coming up late this year.
Oh, that's great. How do you approach international growth while maintaining brand integrity?
We had to take a step back from international in order to focus resources on our core market. So we do have distribution in a number of countries around the world, but not broadly. We work with niche distributors and finding a place where our product can prosper without a ton of advertising behind it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What's your vision for expanding Lancer's presence in luxury retail?
We need to be able to communicate our message in a more succinct way to get marketing more efficient and to decrease the cost of customer acquisition. Once we accomplish that, and we're making pretty good progress on it, then we need to look for other channels that we can expand into domestically in order to really accelerate growth.
Yeah. As far as innovation and development, how does customer feedback influence your product development?
We get a lot of our feedback from in person, from either patients or customers in the LA, New York, San Francisco area where we have a presence. So we do a lot of face-to-face conversations about what our what the patients and customers like about the products, what they still would like to see, what new problems they may be facing, what new products they might be trying out in the market, and that gives us a bit of a competitive advantage in that not many skincare brands have access to that wealth of customer information.
So I'm curious, how are you evolving the brand while staying true to its heritage?
We made a decision to focus on our core and re-emphasize the products that made Lancer great, that got Lancer the kind of recognition and presence that it has now. We've done SKU rationalization to make sure that we can focus on our key SKUs, and those are around both the method, which is doctor's first 3-step regimen for anti-aging, the method polish, method cleanser, and the method nourish, and our new gravity line. So our focus is on them, and then how we use that way in to introduce our customers.
And how does education play into your growth strategy?
Education touches everything. We have a director of education here that does a terrific job. Education informs what we're doing in CRM, what kind of email, what kind of communications with our existing customers we want. Education informs how we're putting together ads to get out to customer acquisition spaces like Meta. Our director of education also is our guest on QVC. So that's a big piece of what drives the sales in Westchester is that she knows how the products work and what the patients and consumers want, and she'd be able to deliver that to them. Really across everything down through customer service, education is important.
What skincare trends are you most excited about?
The world's changed over the last 5 or 10 years, and the trends move really quickly right now. So we're not so focused on the latest trend as we are on what we think our products can do best for our patients. Not that we ignore what's going on in the market, but you can chase trends right now and have a product ready to deliver a year after the trend ended. So you really got to be careful about how nimble you can be when product development and production is expensive and time consuming.
Yeah, that's for sure. How is technology changing the premium skincare experience?
Certainly, in terms of how you get to know your customer, it's a big advantage. How you can have increased conversations, increased touch points, and really get to know your customer better. That technology makes a big difference. Even if it's in a more sophisticated quiz on the way in, or if there's new ways of surveying customers to get their likes and needs, we do leverage that quite a bit. And then certainly in customer acquisition, technology gives us the ability to be more efficient, to target better, segment better, and really drill down on our ideal customer profile.
Are you seeing changes in consumer behavior?
Over the last couple of months, there's been, yeah, definitely been changes in consumer behavior, becoming more value conscious, more concerned about efficacy, more deliberate in what they're picking and what products they want to try. I think that's a big part of what's driving the market right now. So the change in consumer behavior over the last 6 months has been substantive.
And how are you preparing for those changes?
It really comes back to the core strategy. We have to focus on what we do best and make sure that we're delivering that message through all our different touch points, whether it is in social media, in CRM, through our wholesale partners, or on TV, on television marketing like TV.
What will be crucial for success in premium skincare over the next few years?
The consumer has become very savvy. They know what they want, and they don't have much patience for a product that doesn't get them the results that they need. So you have to make sure that the quality of your product and the efficacy of your product deliver on the promises in a much more focused way than perhaps in the past. It's much less important to, it's more important to make sure that what you're focused on is what you're delivering. I think we have the ability to tell that story, and that's one of the reasons that we've gotten back to growth over the last year.
That's great. And so, what would make 2025 a landmark year for Lancer Skincare?
As we add new doors in specialty retail, as we leverage our new tech stack and improve our direct-to-consumer and e-commerce efforts, I think those two things are probably the biggest drivers, with Amazon growth not far behind.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much. And that's it for today's episode of Healthier, Happier You, the people working to make it happen. A huge thank you to Marc Kravets for sharing his insights and amazing work Lancer Skincare is doing to help people live healthier, happier lives. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit. And if you're a brand or business making an impact in health, wellness, or personal care, we'd love to help you grow. Connect with me at luxhammer.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep making a difference.